It's funny because I have a glass desk, and so she's staring at me from under the glass desk. Oh, there she goes. No, the last time I wore these pants was was over at my parents' house, and so it smells like their dog and my sister's dogs and stuff like that, or her friends, as we like to say.
That makes sense. She's like, I smell my friends.
Yeah.
I don't
Why do
hear
I
or
smell
see
my
my
friends in
friends.
your pants?
Yeah. What the hell?
Bum, bum, bum. Open that.
Open. 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 Oh, jeez. Man, news is just terrible.
As far as opening it?
No, every time I get a news article that pops up on my phone/watch about something, it's like usually something bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. ESPN just said the Celtics coach is being suspended for a year for an inappropriate relationship with a female coworker.
Okay. Why do you get sports news?
Yeah, you know.
You're the most sports person I know, I guess.
Yeah, see? Boom, gotcha. Like I broke the news yesterday to Mike that the what's-his-face is selling the Suns and the Mercury.
Oh, really? Did you text that out? I
Yeah.
didn't even read it.
Yep. And then Mike posted later that I guess there's already 3 top contenders. I don't know how people know this or whatever. But it's Jeff Bezos. I don't know. I always say Bezos because of people, but Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, and Bob Iger among expected candidates to buy Suns and Mercury.
That's a really weird collection of people.
Well, I guess Jeff Bezos has like some weird obsession with Arizona, I guess.
Does he?
Yeah, so like I was reading this thing, I don't remember how long ago it was, where like I guess Arizona was the first state to have like all the newer Amazon warehouse stuff.
Okay.
And like we have the most concentrated Amazon warehouses. Mainly, I think it's because Phoenix is the largest area of metropolitan everything in Arizona.
Right.
You know, in a lot of other cities, it's very spread out, and it's very hard to have a lot of that stuff nearby. But it was saying that Arizona has like the highest concentration of Amazon warehouses and distribution centers.
Interesting.
And it's not just for Arizona; it's for other states that come. I think they ship stuff here to go to other places. That's the reason they're called distribution centers.
Right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I wish he would have brought Blue Origin here then.
Yeah, you know. Guess Arizona's not good for rockets or something.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not great for it. But whatever.
Yeah,
Still could have.
Yeah, it's true. But he was also a part of that, I think still maybe happening, but probably failed Future City thing that they were doing up north. With like
with Elon Musk of all people.
Yeah, Elon Musk and Microsoft, Bill Gates and all them peoples that wanted like.
I was wondering what happened to that. I think the last time we even talked about that was a couple of years ago, and then never heard anything about it again.
Every now and then I hear popping up, but people like I'll see someone saying like, I can't remember the name of the group that they formed. It's got a weird name. Has like expressed interest in this plot of land outside of this city or in this area or whatever, and it's always somewhere in Arizona. Mainly because of all the solar, obviously, potential.
Yeah, potential.
You know, whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm
looking through the stories that I saved this past week, and I think these are from this past week.
Well, the article says when they're from.
Yeah, but it says 5 days ago.
Oh, see, that's this week, sort of.
And then I'm just trying to remember why did I even save one of them. because it's not something we would normally talk about.
Ooh, what is it? Now I want to talk about it.
It's the EVGA pulls out of making graphics cards.
Yeah, what was that about? I didn't read that article.
So basically, I didn't know this, but apparently EVGA, whose name that I'm just learning as well, even though I've liked tech stuff for a long time, I don't pay attention to a lot of company names really.
Yeah.
EVGA stands for Extreme Video Graphics Adapter. They solely made Nvidia graphics cards.
Yeah.
So they didn't make any type of ATI, Radeon, AMD graphics cards. I didn't know that because, again, I don't really pay attention to a lot of the manufacturers. Anyway, so apparently, because they started out in the early 2000s and they were just what's known as a board partner for Nvidia. Like I said, they only made Nvidia graphics cards. And apparently throughout the years, Nvidia has become more and more difficult to work with, culminating into this past generation where Nvidia started making their own graphics cards, the 3000 series. I don't think they made any 2000 series graphics cards, but I know that they made the 3000 series graphics cards, what are known as the Founders Editions.
Yeah.
If you really think about that, that means that Nvidia not only is making their own graphics cards, but is also now selling to other board partners or AIBs. I can't remember what that stands for right now. Quiet, Lyra. I don't know what you're barking at.
Yeah.
She made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, but it's weird to think that okay, so at that point in time, they're in competition now with the people that they're selling with.
Yeah.
Which a lot of AIB started like when Nvidia first launched this, they were like, haha, this is just going to be like a one-off thing that we do. This is going to be like a limited edition run that we're going to do. But apparently it turned into not a limited edition thing. And the reason why that is kind of worrisome at that point in time, because now that Nvidia can make everything for like bottom dollar. And if you've ever looked at their graphics cards, their Founders Edition graphics cards, they were always cheaper than another company's, and EVGA's, Asus's, whatever, because that company now has to buy that from Nvidia and also make their own. So now they have a little bit of an overhead above cost in order to make their money back. The AIBs do. And then Nvidia started cracking down as the years went by. Nvidia started cracking down on what the AIBs could do with those graphics chips. So I don't know if you remember back in the day, there were some companies that would make these like weird and wild graphics cards that had like two graphics processors on the same board, or like two graphics cards like mushed together on the same, in the same graphics card, running in essentially like SLI, but it's on the same graphics card, use the same PCIe, stuff like that. Nvidia started putting a kibosh on that type of stuff. So that's why for the past 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is, you haven't seen any like weird graphic card designs from end manufacturers, because Nvidia started putting a kibosh on them. Then it started being that Nvidia wouldn't even tell the board partners how much something is going to cost until the day that they announced it. And what I've heard from this past announcement, because a couple days ago, Nvidia actually announced the 40 series graphics cards. The rumor that I heard about that is that their CEO, I'm spacing out on his name, doesn't even actually know the price of the graphics cards until he goes out on stage and makes that price up. Yeah.
He just throws a number out?
Yeah. Now, that's probably hyperbole, but literally, when you're a major manufacturer, and at this point in time, the companies are already buying this stuff. Like, this isn't like Nvidia announces it, and then a couple months later, like 6 months later, it releases like Apple does. No, this is in some cases. This is literally like these companies are already acquiring the parts for this. They're already making the stuff. They just don't know how much that they can sell it for because Nvidia hasn't told them what the prices of this stuff will be yet until literally they do a public announcement. So literally when Nvidia announces that the price for the 4090 whatever is going to be like I think it's $1,000 or something like that for the 40 series, or $1,100 for the 40 for the 40 series, a 4090 Ti or whatever it is, or they haven't announced a Ti. It's just a 4090. Anyway, that's when the board partners find out about this, about the price. And now, just to be clear, I'm pretty sure that just means that's what it costs for the Founders Edition cards, because again, the board partners are buying this stuff from Nvidia. So they now have to have a little bit of overhead beyond that in order to make some money back.
Holy assholes, dude. The 4090 is $1,600.
Okay, it was $1,600. They had some really weird modeling this year because I think they did was it the 40? Yeah, the 4080 then was like $1,100, and then there was a 4080 16 gig, which was like $1,100, and then a 4080 12 gig, which is like $800. And people were already up in arms about that. Of like, it's not like a spec for spec 4080, and they just reduced the amount of RAM in it. It is literally a slower card, less CUDA cores, I think less. I can't remember all the specifics of it, but then less RAM. And people are like, well, that's just a 4070. Why didn't you just name it a 4070? Why did you call it a 4080 12 gig and then this other one, 4080 16 gig, but there's like a big gap in the price there?
Yeah, so
it doesn't make sense.
Of the 40 series, there's a 4080 12 gig, which retails at $899. A 4080 16 gig, which retails at $11.99, and the 4080, which by the way has 24 gigs of RAM.
Oh, I didn't even know about that one.
Is $15.99, and they all released this year, October 14th. I think it said.
And I didn't look through specs of it, but I trust the people that were looking through specs of it because I was learning about this from like Jay's 2 Cents and stuff like that, and they were just like, yeah. These are differently spec'd cards. Like, they're literally slower and less cores and whatnot. That, going down each 4080 series. So why the hell you have a 4080 24 gig and a 16 gig and a 12 gig, and the prices between them are so different, but you call them all the same?
Yeah.
It's not like you're just changing the amount of RAM. You are literally changing the specs of the card, but you're calling it all the same card.
Yeah, so they have two 4080s and a 4090. What the yeah, this is fucking ridiculous.
And then there was something else that was going on. And mind you, I'm getting all this information because a lot of it's really weird. The CEO of EVGA actually called a bunch of high name YouTubers, a couple that I watch of Jay's 2 Cents, and also of I was spacing out on his channel name. Gamers Nexus.
There you go. Good job, buddy.
They literally were called to a meeting with the CEO of EVGA. And the CEO sat them all down and was like, this is what we're doing. And they like went back and forth on why this sucks and whatnot. And so all this information is coming basically for third or first hand. I can't remember what that equals out to, directly from those YouTubers. And there was one more reason I think they said that they gave as to why they finally made the decision beyond all of that. And I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so at the end of the day, they were just like, we can't do this anymore. Yeah, we're going to pull out of making graphics cards, period. Not just like, because it was weird that they said that basically the CEO felt like mistreated by Nvidia.
Makes
But
sense.
when asked, basically, okay, if you're going to not do Nvidia graphics cards anymore, are you going to do ATI, AMD graphics cards at all? And they said no. With respect to our partnership with Nvidia, we're not going to go and do that.
Not
It
yet.
was like, but you're being treated like shit from Nvidia. And I'm not saying that AMD would be any better.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what the process of working with AMD looks like. But when I was watching another tech podcast thing, they said that, and I can't remember the numbers exactly correctly, but they were saying that somewhere around 70% of EVGA's profits, maybe even a little higher than that, were from graphics cards sales. So if you're not making graphics cards anymore, and mind you, they make motherboards, power supplies,
Yeah.
Keyboards, mice, stuff like that. But like when 70% of your profit comes from making graphics cards, and your name is literally EVGA, Extreme Video Graphics Adapter, and you don't make graphics cards anymore, what the hell?
Yeah, bro.
The CEO said that too, that he plans on not making any layoffs too. Like anybody that was making graphics cards, that was doing those designs and stuff, is just going to be shuffled off to other projects. They're not planning on laying anybody off, which is really cool of them. But it's just like, you just cut out a large portion of your business there. So if you're not like going to go balls deep into something else and make it your big thing, then I don't really know how your company survives.
Yeah, that's trying to find. Nvidia doesn't even have the specs of their shit on their website. Whatever. I'm not gonna buy a graphics card anytime soon because that's fucking ridiculous.
Fucking ridiculous, right?
Just asinine. Speaking of video games, though, Joe. Actually, speaking before I go to that story, did you see some of the videos they released of the RTX upscaling?
No, I haven't watched any of that stuff.
They apparently it's all software based. I thought it was like that people using it to then create remasters. Apparently, it's just, and I have to read more into it, so I'm going by what I read. It's just the RTX engine up converting graphics, utilizing the, like, it's not just like, when we take obviously the big difference between remastering of like a movie versus like a video game is the video game has all the assets, and so it can manipulate the graphics of the assets using the assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Movies, obviously, it's just taking what was already on the screen and just trying to enhance the original blah, 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 right? So this is taking and reworking the assets in game. It's very bizarre. Like I said, I didn't read in all of it, but this is part of it. And they showed off a couple different things. One was Portal.
Okay, cool.
And so you can watch the video, and I'll send it to you at one point if I remember, because I know you enjoy Portal as much as I do.
Yes.
And this wasn't just them doing it. This is they were working with Valve and Steam and all this, obviously. So it's like a new trailer for like, hey, play Portal on a new RTX, and this is like an all new game. Literally looks like an all new game. I thought it was a remaster. I thought they did a remaster of Portal 1, and it's literally just an RTX upgrade.
Weird.
And
That's
it's
cool.
so graphically different, Joe. It's boggling.
Does it have to be programmed for it, or is it just literally?
Apparently, it just does it. Like, so they just released this version that like allows RTX to make these modifications automatically. So if you have an RTX card, when you put Portal on, it will then literally do it. Like, it's the assets are in the game, and RTX just knows how to make them better, I guess. It's fucking bonkers, dude. I'll send it to you. You can watch it, and you're like, what?
Yeah, because I'm interested in that. That's pretty cool.
And they did Skyrim or Morrowind. They did one of the
Morrowind.
Yeah, I can't remember which game they did it with, but they did it, and it was also like drastically different. I was like,
I would probably think Skyrim. Morrowind was like 20 years ago.
I wouldn't put it past anybody, really. But yeah, you're probably
true.
Right.
I wouldn't put it past, especially the people within the modding community of Elder Scrolls. But yeah, game's like 20 years old. That'd be really
dog.
Weird if it just automatically upgrades the graphics of the fucking 20-year-old game.
Yeah, well, things and stuff. Trying to find.
It's scary to even think that game is like 20 years old. It's probably not 20 years old, but it feels like it's 20 years old.
Yeah, so this is the article that I started reading and then I watched the video because Nvidia released a video on YouTube for it. Which I watched. I think I watched through IGN because I don't follow Nvidia on YouTube. But it says Nvidia's RTX Remix is a powerful new AI-assisted modeling tool. Launches with Portal RTX. And so it's like I said, it's Portal, but it's done with the RTX Remix, I guess is what it's called. And it's fucking bonkers, dude. Oh, there's the video. I'll send it to you later. You can watch it. But it does like this whole thing where it basically has like that wipe left to right type thing. And so you can see the graphics change. It's fun. It's funny because like you can see like some of the graphics. I mean, obviously Portal came out like 100 years ago. So some of them are the assets are a little dated, but the textures change, the lighting changes, like all sorts of crazy shit. You'll see it. You'll be like, "What the fuck just happened?" It's pretty nutty. I'm trying to see what the other game was, and I don't remember what it was now.
That's pretty cool. I will have to watch that.
Anyhow, the other video game one I was going to bring up is actually that favorite soccer show of yours and mine.
Ted Lasso
is going to be featured in FIFA 23.
FIFA 2023.
So
I thought we were going to say it together.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I can't see you on my screen because I have news pulled up in front of you. Your gorgeous face. But yeah, so it's not just Ted Lasso, but the actual AFC Richmond team is in it.
Okay, that I didn't read. I just read that Ted Lasso was going to be in it.
So he is not just a coach you can get. He is coaching AFC Richmond, and it has Jamie Tart, Danny Rejos, Sam. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It's like Obisanya or something. Roy Kent and Isaac are in it, as well as Coach Beard is his assistant coach.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and you can watch the trailer that pops up. Ted Lasso actually posted it right as the announcement was made, and his tweet says, "I've got goosebumps seeing my guys in CGI is so weird, except Roy for some reason, because he's a robot and all."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and they did mocap for it. So they have a video of or a photo of Jason as Ted Lasso, or as Ted Lasso says, Ted Lasso doing the mocap for it. So you can see him in the that 3D, like he's wearing his Ted Lasso gear, and he's in one of those 3D photo environment things where they take like 95,000 pictures of like every inch of your body. So that's pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty funny. Not that I was ever going to play FIFA.
No, but it is pretty cool to see that they're doing something like that.
But it's pretty awesome. The other story I had saved that would be relative to what you and I talk about, which is obviously nerd shit. This one happens to be around movies and movie sequels. It was announced yesterday that Netflix's sequel to Beverly Hills Cop, called Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley, starring Eddie Murphy, is bringing back several co-stars from other movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Including Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Paul Reiser, and Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep. And they say there's other stuff happening too. They just haven't announced who it might be. But those are the ones, obviously, that are going to be in it. I don't think Bridget Nielsen will be in it because she's dead. Not in real life, in the movies.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's unfortunate.
I think she's still kicking around, fucking chasing after the fucking Flavor Flav and shit. But yeah, no, they will reprise their roles as Billy Rosewood. So Detective Billy Rosewood is obviously going to be Judge Reinhold. Then we have John Ashton as Detective Taggart. We have, let's see, Paul Reiser playing Jeffrey Friedman, who is his old partner from Detroit. And, of course, Serge, played by Bronson Pinchot, will return as well. So that's pretty cool, I think, that they're really doing cool. That. Yeah.
I can't wait for that. And I can't wait to see Paul Reiser in it. I hope they play him a little bit dirtier, like we've seen him in like The Boys and stuff, because it's just fucking hilarious when Paul Reiser is just kind of an asshole.
When he cusses in The Boys, it just gives me a weird delight.
Right?
I'm like, half of my two dads is just fucking dropping F-bombs and shit.
Right?
Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is also in the movie. Just so you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him do anything lately.
It's been some time. Well, he did that Netflix movie, Powers. What's the name of it? I always forget the name of that fucking movie. Where they take the pill and they get superpowers for like a limited time.
I literally think that was Powers, and no, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that yet?
No.
God damn it, Joseph.
I didn't see it.
God.
Look, I'm getting around to it.
Okay, Mike. You waiting for like fucking 10 episodes of 11 seasons to happen and then decide to watch it?
Well, then decide not to watch it because I'm too far behind and I don't want to. It's too
That's the dumbest logic. If you're that far behind, that means you get to watch all of it. You get to binge it all. Right? Like, it's not like, like, oh, granted, you're not going to be able to talk about it to people. Mike, you don't talk about that shit with people anyways. So why don't you just fucking watch it? It's good stuff.
Yeah, but I'm too far behind.
Yep. Too far behind to watch a show that is literally just there to watch. Jackass.
Speaking of a show that should be there to watch.
Okay.
There's just an article I read about why Ted Lasso Season 3 hasn't been released yet.
Oh, I saw
and
that
it basically boils down to the fact that Jason Sudeikis is like still writing it. And keeps rewriting it.
Yep.
So that was it. It was a short article.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, well, how about you fucking get to it and so we can watch it, no?
Right.
That's cool.
Beyond that, there was also announced that Amazon is greenlighting a Blade Runner 2029 limited series that will be produced by Ridley Scott. Reading through the article coming from the Huffington Post, I don't think there was anything else really in here that I can remember reading besides just saying, hey, it's being greenlit. There was one thing. Where is it? So while Amazon had already said it was developing the series in February, Thursday's confirmation yielded new details about the project, which will take place 50 years after the 2017 sequel film that starred Ryan Gosling and brought original lead Harrison Ford back into the fold. So that was pretty much the only other information that we were given during this announcement. There was nothing about any timelines, I don't think, of when they were going to hopefully have it done by, or even who's going to be in it. I kind of doubt that they're going to bring back Harrison Ford for it, seeing as it takes place 50 years after the sequel. And I doubt that they're going to bring Ryan Gosling back either. But that was it about that. I just thought that was cool.
That is very interesting. I mean, you don't need to have them in it because that world is beyond those characters, and obviously like, you'd be stagnant with those characters because like their stories are kind of like, you know, not done.
Pretty much done.
Yeah, but you know,
pretty much done.
Yeah, pretty much done is what I was going to get to. But that world is bigger than it. Just like we've always say, like the world of the universe that Alien takes place in, is way bigger than what we've seen, and we've obviously seen like prequel stuff, but like, and we like the video games and novels and comic books has obviously explored more of it. But I'd like to see like a fucking, Space Marines TV show where they just fucking battle different types of aliens, not just like xenomorphs, but like other creatures and stuff. That'd be kind of fun, like a Band of Brothers, but like in space or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But it'd be interesting to see what they do, because, like you said, on that point, like, Roy Bettany has a whole monologue in the first movie that is like describing things that you're like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome, and yet you don't see any of that. That's just shit that he experienced in his past. And it's just like there's so much more to this world, like you said, that we could explore. So it'd be interesting to see if they go still more towards basically what Blade Runner is, somebody hunting down the replicants, or if they go from a more like explaining what the replicants are and what they do and showing you and whatnot. Maybe showing you more from their perspective of like of another group escaping from a colony somewhere. That would be interesting. Yeah.
And then maybe dive into the whole fact like that replicants are growing up within us without us even knowing, for the most part.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We will
as time passes and we get more information.
Yeah, boy.
I think moving on to the next thing. I think remind me if I talked about this last week. This is one of those ones that starts to get into like, did I talk about this last week? I can't remember. Basically, the Halo Season 2, it has started in production. They added a cast member who was in the Vampire Diaries.
You did not talk about this last week.
And now I can't remember because it was such a long time ago. I cannot remember what it was.
From Vampire Diaries?
Production begun on the second season of Halo TV series. Microsoft announced a big post on software. Season 2 will be filmed in Iceland and Budapest. The first photo show Master Chief actor Pablo Schreiber and the other cast members somewhere in a tranquil-looking Iceland. The showrunner for Season 2 is David Weirner, who took over from Season 1 co-showrunners Kyle Killen and Stephen Kane. In addition to Master Chief, Cortana, Halsey Season 2 adds new cast members such as the Vampire Diaries' Joseph Morgan and James Ackerson. The character is described as a formidable intelligence operative who has spent his career climbing the ranks of the Office of Naval Intelligence. Additionally, Christina Rodlow from Too Old to Die Young joins Halo as Talia Perez, a linguistics expert working for the UNSC Marine Corps Communications Unit. Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you might know those people.
I know a couple of those people. It's interesting that they're expanding on characters when they have way too many already that don't get any actual, story behind them. But that's cool and all.
Yeah.
And why don't we throw more humans in? That makes perfect fucking sense because they're so good at fighting super strong aliens, as we've seen so far.
Right. You finished Halo, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, by the way, as you were saying that, I pulled up a thing that apparently, I'm pretty sure I didn't read the article because I don't care. But Charlie Murphy's character, who appeared in the season or who died in season 1 finale, is coming back for season 2.
Okay.
So,
are they going to dream sequence this? He didn't really die in real life.
Yeah, I don't. Well, no, Charlie Murphy's not that Charlie Murphy, dude. That's the wrong Charlie Murphy you're thinking of.
Yeah, they're all the same.
No, Charlie Murphy's the alien, the Covenant lady.
Oh, that's right. She.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she
Right.
I mean,
I do recall seeing an article saying that they're bringing her back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Which again could be dream sequences.
could be flashbacks, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Could be somehow she's inside the artifact now.
Could be. I mean, she obviously has a link to it, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I guess I'll wait to maybe watch it. We'll see. Speaking of watching it, did you watch Quantum Leap?
I have not, no.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Did you like it at least?
I couldn't finish it.
It was that bad?
Bro, first off, all right, so granted, we watched this TV show from the 80s, right? It's 30 years ago. We loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the acting wasn't great.
But no acting was great back then.
Yeah, special effects were borderline trash because, it's the 80s, right? Cool. This show has some of the worst effects I've ever seen on television.
Really?
Bro, the Corridor crew is going to fucking tear this show apart. Bro,
okay.
So the biggest difference between this and the OG is, and for the 20-something minutes I watched it, is they do a lot of present day, like current people and Dr. Ben in his leap, right? His leap was definitely filmed on the back lot in Universal Studios, Hollywood.
Okay.
You can tell because it looks like he's in Back to the Future land. The green screening or whatever they're using for it is atrocious. Like, there's a part where he's in the car with a dude that he's obviously not leaped into, but he's this person next to someone who knows the guy, and they're driving in a car, and the background's moving differently than the car.
Okay.
I was like, all right, so if you're trying to go for a nostalgic look, okay, but whoa, dude, this is terrible. But there's a scene where, and it's not even like the ones you thought would be the rough ones, because like how Sam would see Al open like the glowy door and he'd walk in.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that in this. She just appears, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
But then there's a scene where they show her disappear, and she goes all polygonal and just like fades out. Because she gets like a car goes through her, and like in the old show, it would just like you'd see him superimposed over it as it drove over him, whatever, or past him. She like flutters out of existence and back in, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's a cool little effect, right? Like she's just whatever. Then they show you the imaging room, which is basically where she's standing talking to Ben, and the background is moving in a way it shouldn't be, and you can tell she's on a green screen, and the camera's like not picking it up properly, and then she moves, and the background moves separately from her. It's rough,
Weird.
dude. It's fucking so bad. And the set they have for the lab where like Ziggy's at is just the most formulaic server like lab. It's so bad, dude. It's so terrible. And then it's like the characters are like, they're just so not like real. Like when they're acting, it's like, oh, you're an actor. You're not even being this person. It's so, dude, it's rough to watch, dude. I couldn't finish the episode.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I might, but like, dude, I hope the pilot is the worst part and then the going on is better. Cause, yikes, dude. Yikes. And even the part, like the classic, him looking in a mirror, seeing who he's leaped into, the lips weren't matching up when he was talking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no. Oh no. This is rough. This is bad news, Bears. So check it out if you want, but I was like not super
I kind of
enjoying
want to see it just because of how bad it sounds.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, I read an article because I didn't want to care about spoilers, but I read an article that basically spoiled something. They hey, this could be potential spoilers. You haven't seen it yet. I'm like, unless you're gonna tell me that fucking Sam Beckett is in it, then you're not gonna spoil anything for me. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it is a cool, and I could tell you if you wanted to.
Yeah, go for it.
So basically, there's a link. Obviously, they had to find a way to link to the first show, and they show Sam Beckett on a little hologram projector thing when they're talking about the Quantum Leap project, and you see a little classic Sam Beckett and little like Star Wars hologram thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is her interface of like talking to Ziggy. It's this little like round thing, but apparently, so the whole premise. I'll just break down the story real quick. Ben is a researcher who's been working on this for like 5-something years, trying to rewrite the code for Quantum Leap, the Project Quantum Leap, to figure out what went wrong the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a secret time travel fucking like project that they're working on, right? So not everybody knows about it. And when it first starts off, the episode starts with someone playing on doing some stuff on a computer, and then they in the background you can hear them. You don't see their face. Saying, that's it or whatever. Something they discovered something or other. So they text somebody. Jumps to a dinner party. You find out that it's Ben and his now fiance, their engagement party.
Okay.
He's not really like a party goer. He kind of wants to just be with him and like her and him. He doesn't like being around crowds or public speaking, all that fun stuff. And they embarrass him, blah, blah, blah. Well, he gets these text messages, and it's just right after each other and says, I need to talk to you, like, ASAP. I found it, or whatever, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So then just jumps to him walking up to the machine, and again, it looked rough because it was just real bad CGI. And then he walks over in his all-white suit, a la Sam Beckett and Quantum Leap, and the big rings come up, and it does the whole quantum, and he leaps, right? Mm-hmm. The background looks terrible. The rings were all right. The leap looked cool because it's like basically turns into light and that was great. So he's there. He doesn't know who he is, obviously, but he also doesn't know who he is and doesn't know where he's at. He's completely lost everything. She shows up, explains to him that they knew that amnesia was going to be a problem, but she wants to know like why he like jumped, right? And he's like, I don't even know who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's like his fiance, and whatever, right? So we go through that. I don't know what happened after that because I turned it off shortly after that. And then it apparently at the end, it's revealed who the person is that was helping Ben or doing whatever with Ben that helped initiate the jump, and it actually ends up being Al's youngest daughter.
Oh,
so if you remember, Al, after being able to return to real life, and Sam had gone back and talked to his wife back in the day. At the time, his wife was, I think. Anyways, she then didn't believe that Al was dead. Al was able to return, happily married, has 4 daughters, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So the youngest daughter is actually who's been helping Ben. And they rewrite the programming for Quantum Leap, and that's why he jumps in the quantum accelerator to do the leap because they think they have it fixed.
Right.
Obviously, they don't because he doesn't know where he's at, and then Ziggy's trying to figure out stuff and the whole plot thing is Ziggy is trying to figure out the algorithm that they uploaded because it's different than what it was, and so Ziggy's trying to basically go through search through history to figure out what he needs to do to basically continue the leap or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole premise of the first episode apparently. But that I thought was a cool, and they show both clip footage of Sam and Al, and it's that the photo they use of Al is in his military gear or Air Force or whatever it was. I can't remember what he was. When they talk about him, I guess, because I saw a picture of it or whatever. So I may check it out again, but man, it was real hard to watch because like the acting from a lot of people were real terrible. But just like again, it's a pilot, so maybe like sometimes pilots are rough because they're like proof of concept or whatever.
Right.
Hopefully it gets better. I'll maybe check it out, but man, it was
not good.
Yeah, it's like that's exactly what you expect out of network television.
Yeah.
Like, don't put any money, don't put any faith or any belief in what you're about to do. Just cobble together as cheap as you can, and hopefully the execs will be like, you know what? Let's see what happens.
Right. This is cheap to make, and people kind of like it, so let's just keep making more of them.
Yeah. So I'm like, or I don't know, spend some money on it and some time, and do a good show.
Yeah, maybe. It might work. Somebody should try sometime.
Anyway, that's all I had.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
All right, well, that will be it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.